Welcome to Bash to the Call. My name is Stephen Dawes, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about França, because obviously, given the way that Hodgson was describing both of the substitutions, Raksaki and França, that came on against Tottenham Hotspur, I just thought that I wanted to talk a little bit about him and about what I think the expectation is of him, because I think when when he was signed, there was a huge furore around it. They had this big video of him with the dancing people, and the Brazilian flag and all that kind of stuff, and the real kind of pizzazz of him arriving at Crystal Palace. And I understand the reasons why. I mean, he's a Brazilian player, and it's a special moment for Crystal Palace to have a player such as him in the squad and things like this. And a lot of people say he's a rising star, and I'm sure he probably is. But he hasn't played a huge amount of games in Brazil, and he's come over here on, I think it's a £40,000 a week contract he's got at the moment. And I just wonder whether they've what their plan is for França, because I think the way he was announced as in his pomp and circumstance, it made you think as though this was going to be a first team player, because usually if they buy players for the under 23s, players who are going to go forward into the youth system, then they'll announce it, but it won't be this whole big pizzazz over it and the whole big videos and the massive announcement that he's joined the club. So I think that they want him to be a first team player. However, I'm not sure whether Roy Hodgson believes he can be at the moment. Now, whether that's a problem with Roy Hodgson, I don't know, but to me it seems as though certainly Steve Parish and Duga Friedman think this guy is going to be a replacement, not necessarily a replacement for Wilfried Zaha, but somebody who can come in and do a similar job and can add a little bit of flair and a little bit of quality to the first team. I think he's got potential. I really do. I mean, when I've seen him play, he's always looks ready to accept the ball. He's looked eager. He's looked confident. Now, he has had a niggling back injury which they've had to look after. Whether that's still a bit of an issue for him, I don't know. Maybe that's why they're not playing him as much as we would perhaps like to see him play. But I think that there is an issue there somewhere. Hodgson, dismissed him and Raksaki really in the game against Tottenham, and I don't think they were that bad. So I think that maybe Roy Hodgson is being pressurised from within to play these players, even though he thinks that maybe they're not ready to play, or maybe he thinks that he doesn't feel that they can, fit into his way of playing at the moment. I don't know, but it did seem to me as though the way he answered the question was where he was doing something he didn't really want to do. He played these players, I put the young players in, they didn't do it very well, it's almost as if he's saying it's not my fault, I was told to do it, that kind of thing. He didn't say that, but that's the impression I got from what he said. Now, of course, his demeanour has been a little bit off lately. He had to go at the Sky Sports team for asking questions that were too general, not specific enough, and things like this. I don't know whether he's getting a little bit down about the whole situation at Palace at the moment, and obviously he keeps talking about how they're not playing the way he necessarily wants them to play, but obviously we've had a lot of injury problems. We're coming up against teams that are very good. Tottenham and Newcastle are very good teams. They're not going to let us play the way we want to play. We've got to try and impose our own game onto them. So I'm not necessarily think it's the fact that the players aren't doing it. I think it's more the fact that opposition teams are stopping us from doing the type of things that we want to do. And I'm sure things will be better when we have at least say an Eze back in the squad, because it gives us more pace down the wings, more quality in front of goal and things like this. And I think França has a place to play in that. I don't think though that we're going to see him play a whole game for a while, because I think that for whatever reason he's not going to be given a huge first team opportunity at the moment. I think that certainly Roy Hodgson, I think, wants him to spend some time with the under 23s, maybe spend some more time in training, working on what he likes the players to do. So I think that it's going to be difficult for fans, for the supporters, to sit back and wait for him to make his proper appearance, because he's played bit parts, but to be fair to him, he hasn't played on the pitch long enough to actually make anything happen. 10, 20 minutes perhaps, something like that. That's all he's had. I mean, Raksaki had 20 minutes or so, I think it was. That's not enough to make an impact on a game. You have to have a bit of luck. You have to have, the right things happening at the right time. You have to have the right service to make things happen. And if we're not doing that, then it's not enough time to make an impact. So I think that we need to, be aware of the fact that I don't think he's going to be, the next Wilfried Zaha overnight. He's not going to come in and start scoring goals. I don't think he's going to be given a huge amount of time straight away. He's going to be eased in gently, whether that's because of his injury issue or whether it's because Hodgson doesn't really believe in him yet. I don't know. But, I think that Roy Hodgson thinks there's a lot of expectation from the fans about him. And I think that he's perhaps not entirely sure that expectation is right at the moment. And I think he will be a fantastic player. I'm just not sure whether it's going to happen this season. It might happen next season, something like that. I think he's more a player that they're looking at as the long-term future rather than someone who's going to come in and make an immediate impact in the squad, which is fine. But you also need players who are going to come in and make an immediate impact in the squad, because that's what we need right now. We need some quality up front. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation at the moment. I thought I'd give my thoughts on how I felt about it, and I want you guys to let me know what you think about it as well. Let me know down in the comment section, or however you can. Let me know what you think about França, and whether you think that Roy Hodgson is right to perhaps give him a bit of time, or whether you think that no, he should be playing 90 minutes from the beginning. He should be given the opportunity to make his mark on the Premier League. Let me know what you think down below as always, and don't forget to check back next time.